Morning, everybody. Happy Thrilling Thursday. Thursday. Why we don't have any racetracks open, or concerts, right? We don't have anything at the arena. We can't do anything. I guess we get. Oh no, we got to turn these things down. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. All right, we got that one done. Give me a second here. Sorry about this. Alright, got it. So, I guess we just have to entertain ourselves in our heads, right? In our minds. A lot of great things going on. A lot of very, very good, a lot of very exciting things happening. I didn't get on yesterday. I woke up late, and it was well, it wasn't late, but it was like, I think it was 6:45. I got up, and I was like, oh man, there's snow outside. So I just kind of took a little bit of the morning to have some me time and kind of relax and kind of chill out a little bit. And then, I fell back asleep, and before you know it, it was like, I think it was 9:15. I woke back up, and I was like, oh boy, well, now it's too late to come on for a live. And then I had so many other meetings and everything else to do. So I kind of missed out, unfortunately. But it was still a really, really great day yesterday. One thing I wanted to say was that just a bunch of different meetings that I had yesterday, and of course, trying to reach out to everybody the best way that I can. I'm doing my best at this point to make sure I'm scheduling myself. I'm scheduling everything the best way that I can, and being, focused in on that, making sure I'm being strict with that, and paying attention to it, so I can get through as many things as I can each day. As most of you know who know me, that's something that's new and unique for me, so I'm definitely not used to it. Not sure what's going on with the live here, but it doesn't look like anybody's coming in. I'm not sure if Facebook is hiding the live at this point. And what I've heard, guys, is that a lot of times people don't see the live when it goes up. Facebook isn't putting that on. Jimmy, what's up? Good morning, brother. And, and I'm really sorry that that's happening. We know what Facebook is doing. We heard yesterday that YouTube is now silencing people even more. What they're doing and what they've decided to do is a good course of action for them is to shut down any free speech involving the election fraud. Any of the election scandal that's there, the election rigging that's happening, that has happened, they're saying if anybody makes any mention of it at all, they are going to shut their page down on YouTube, which, I mean, it sounds about right for their side. I don't even understand how you could see evidence, ballots being pulled out, people harvesting ballots and manipulating ballots, throwing ballots out, all on camera, paying for ballots, just making copies of the ballots, huge voter spikes, the Dominion software, and how they're alleging that there's no air gaps and you can't get into it, but there actually are. So what it looks like to me is this morning, there's nobody coming on here, and what that means to me is that Facebook is probably, and I don't know if you guys are seeing the live or not, and maybe nobody just wants to tune in today, but it's kind of unusual. So my guess is that usually Google and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, those fascists, those Nazis, they want to control the narrative, and they have. And in my opinion, there's what New York State Attorney General is doing, going after them for being a monopoly, and using their power to purchase things like Instagram and WhatsApp, and being quoted. I don't know why it's taken 10 years to do something and move on it when the leaders of Facebook there have said that Zuckerberg have said in briefings, in emails, out comment, public comment, that, they, will want to eliminate the competition so that they don't have to compete that way. And then they can kind of control the narrative. They've said that right out. So they are a monopoly. There are other options, or they're acting like that, in a capacity that they are trying to limit the speech as much as possible. Hey, Courtney, good morning. Hey, Scott, thanks for messaging me, Scott. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's not showing me that anybody's on here. So just really, really goofy stuff. And these are the tactics that Facebook has executed and implemented. These are the tactics that Twitter has implemented. Just complete silencing, manipulation, suppression in every way that they can. Open dialogue, civil discourse. They don't want that. They don't want the free and healthy exchange of ideas and communication. Hey, Jim, what's up, brother? Good morning. And so I'm guessing that if YouTube is going to start shutting that down and silencing that, much in the same way that they did, that they probably took about 30 to 40 million votes. Harvard economist said that would happen. He said that it was 12 to 25 million votes that social media stole through suppression and not allowing different messages to get out there. And I think it was calculated that, there were tens of millions of people that if the Hunter Biden story had been allowed, Devin, good morning, Bonnie, good morning, good to see you guys, great to see you, that they had said that if that information had gotten out, there would have been no way they would have voted for Joe Biden. Had the information gotten out about what Joe Biden did in China, right, what he did there, and what he did in the Ukraine, and what was the other area, what he did, Burisma, how he was involved there, and a couple other things. Greg, good morning, great to see you, brother. So I'm sorry if I don't see you guys. It's really not popping anything up. I'm not seeing any faces. It's showing me that 2 people are watching and then nobody on the other one. So if I don't mention your name, I am sorry, guys. I do apologize. So just massive suppression occurring all over again, just controlling and dictating what's happening, and that elevates to crimes. It's no different. You're stealing a vote that way than if you steal 1 vote. And if you steal 1 vote, that is election fraud. Punishable, it is a criminal offense. Punishable by time in prison. I'm not sure what level it is, if it's a misdemeanor or if it's a felony. It should be a felony. It should be treasonous. It is an act of treason. And the scale on which social media executed that fraud and that suppression, they should all be convicted. Every single one of them should go to jail. No questions about it. And now they want to manipulate the conversation and the narrative even more by just silent. If they came right out, Glenn Beck was talking about it on Blaze TV last night, did a whole big segment. They are now telling you if you say anything about election fraud, election manipulation, voter suppression at all in any way, that your YouTube page will be brought down. I implore you guys, get off of YouTube. I am going to get off of YouTube the best that I can. I did go to BitChute. And here's the great thing about BitChute. You can't even find it. So if you search like competitors to YouTube, you'll get some of these like really, really vanilla pages that aren't even anything really like YouTube at all. BitChute is actually really good. It still checks content for violence and things of that nature, but for the most part, it's free speech. And the way that YouTube used to be before Google got it, now, BitChute is still that way. And let's hope that these platforms that are out there that we're using, like MeWe and GroupMe and Parler, that, with this, antitrust suit that the Attorney General, and I'm not a fan of the Attorney General at all, but, going after them that way at least is a start. And then maybe down the road criminally, hey Dave, what's up, brother? Criminally, that they can be held accountable. So I wanted to talk about a few things just in general about all the stuff that's going on and, it being the season. Just remember, guys, how important you are to other people. what you mean to other people, and kind of be responsible with that. Try to focus in on it a little bit more, even if it's like if yesterday you didn't text or message anybody or call or message anybody, reach out to 2 people, reach out to 3 people, and make that a habit of taking that time. We all think that we don't have that time to do that. We go from, this to this to this to this throughout the course of our day. And before you know it, we didn't see this person, we didn't talk to this person, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. And you'd be astonished at how much that simple act means to somebody else, and how much it's going to mean to you. And it doesn't have to be this long conversation. It can just be something very simple, that you text somebody, just letting them know that you care about them. And I've got one, maybe 2 people that I do that. We know it's way more than that, but it means a lot to them. It really, really, really means a lot to them that I'm able to reach out to them each and every day, which is great. And it means a lot to me that it means a lot to them that I'm able to do that. So especially at this time of year, let's make sure we're doing that. You guys have heard me say that a lot and all the time. I think what is so easy for us to do is we get caught up in our day-to-day. What's going on? I've got this meeting, that we're living out here. Excuse me. I aspirated on my saliva. I'm not going to die, Antifa. Sorry, Mark Odium. Sorry, Mark pulling cars. Maybe I should pretend I'm dying. What would they call me? Wife murderer dies on live, Facebook Live. That would be the headline, right? That's what we should think of. We should come up with all kinds of headlines for that. If I kicked it, if I choked on my own saliva, how ironic would that be? Oh man. But anyways, it's so easy to get caught up and we get that stress, right? And you feel it here, and then it starts to get here, and then it's in your shoulders, and it's just everywhere, right? And then you get it here, and you feel it back here. It's because we're thinking outside of the moment. We hear that all the time. Live in the now, be present, live in the moment. Appreciate, that everything that's around you and that's happening, and just embrace it. And it just seems like it's so simple that it can't be achieved, but it really can be. Even for me this morning, as probably most of you know, it's tough for me to stay in one spot and focus in, but when I can slow myself down and I can take those deep breaths, then I can kind of get that clarity of my mind, and I can focus in and buckle down on what has to be accomplished and what I'm setting out on doing. And I'm always impressed by, we know these guys in our lives, we know these women in our lives, that whatever positions they have and what they do in life, you're like, how do they do so much? Like every single day, it's like, and they're just accomplishing so much every day, but they make it seem effortless. And they just seem like they're floating. And when I have those conversations with them, the biggest thing that comes back from them is they say, I just do it. I just focus in, and I'm here and present and in this moment, and whatever needs to be done, I get it done, and then I get it done, and then I get it done. And you guys have heard me talk about that process before, that philosophy before, and how to accomplish that. And it really is as simple. Like if you start to feel it right here in that tightness, and then sometimes you feel it in your belly, it does. It feels amazing, It really does, because it allows you to center, and it allows you to balance yourself. And the amount that we could all get done by not being stressed and worrying about, what's going to happen later on and later on. You're just getting done what you can get done now. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is this, because I've been seeing a lot of it happen. it's tough to get through a day when you know somebody else has slighted you, right? I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine yesterday, and this person was telling me that they were in a relationship that wasn't very good, and that relationship, they were hanging on to the effects of it. Them mistreating them, the psychological, the physical, the emotional, verbal abuse that they were, enduring, every moment of every day in that relationship. Wendy, good morning. Great to see you, hon. And that person said, they're going for their truck driver's license. And they're going to go for the Class A. The person is extremely hard worker, is committed to working every single day, does everything that she can. And, but she's still kind of hung up on this old relationship. And she said, I'm doing this so that I can prove to him that I can do it, because this person told me I couldn't do it. And if you stay focused in on that in a healthy way, to be the catalyst for that motivation, that impetus, for the inspiration for you to move forward with it, that's great. But there was this sense of, I'm going to show them. Good morning, Amanda. And when you hang on to that mentality and that approach, it can ultimately undermine and sabotage what you've got going on. It can be very defective to apply to your life. And the reason is you're still hanging on to that anger. I think so many people take a look at when somebody slights them, does them wrong, right? Oh, they disrespected me, they said this about me, they did this about me, whatever it is. We're like, our first reaction is we're going to get them. And that was one of the things that she said, I'm going to get that person back. I'm going to show them that it's not right for them to treat me that way or mistreat somebody. I'm going to show them that it's not, that they can't do that. And I'm going to get them to change their behavior, because this way they're never going to do anything like that. They're never going to do anything like that ever again. And that rarely is the case, right? Because what we're hanging on to and what means so much to us and is so paramount, and it has been so pivotal in our lives, so defining, most of the time that person doesn't even know or realize it. How many times have you had that conversation with somebody where you either go to them, you say, man, you said or you did this thing, and it just touched me and it changed my life in this great, great way. And that person will be like, wait, what? I don't remember that. I didn't realize that. Or vice versa, when somebody tells you that, the same thing. And it really is like that relationship. It's all about you in your decision. And this is why you guys hear me say all the time about the control. We control everything in our lives. Everything. Every single thing in our lives. Well, Pete, we don't control COVID, and we don't control, what's happening with the shutdowns, and we don't control what's going on with forced vaccinations. You're right, we don't control that. However, we could have had an effect on that, right? And the way that we could have had an effect on that was by getting up off of our butts and doing something way earlier than now. If we would have been, seeing the warning signs and been just a little bit proactive years and years and years ago. Now, this doesn't apply to all of us, because some of us have been working very hard and we're like, hey, look at me over here. But we still weren't doing it in the right way, because had we been doing it in the right way, we would have been able to get one person and then a couple of people. And I think that that's a big thing too about what I'm talking about here, is that we always want to get to the end instead of the journey. And there's never an end, really. Things there can be a finality to things for sure, but not approaching it that way is just beautiful. And I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, and I'll get back to where I was at. Everything is cyclical. And we are programmed to think in those terms. So we're programmed to think that, okay, we go to this grade, and then that's over. And we go on to the next grade, and then there's going to be the finality to it. We get into this relationship, and then we think that something's going to happen eventually, and then there's going to be a terminus for that. And we're going through a day. We've got the beginning of the day and the end of the day. And we've got work. We've got the beginning of the work week, the end of the work week. So we're just always programmed and conditioned to have these cycles. And if you can kind of break free of that and understand that everything is all about being in the moment, being completely immersed in it, that's when you really start to see things change. You kind of go like, yeah, why am I only happy on a weekend? Why am I only happy on a Friday? Why can't I look at every day as, Christmas or bringing some joy to somebody? Or, why can't I look at every day? If Saturdays make me happy, why don't I look at every day as Saturdays being happy? And you go, Pete, I got to work. So it's, I got to go to that. And there's that little thing. And there's this a-hole that works over here. And I got to listen to my boss and everything else. But it's the way we think about it. It's the way we approach it. And once we start to put that into that ownership and that control, if that job is just unbearable and you try to be as happy as you can, you got to figure out, instead of trying to battle the system constantly, you reevaluate. What is it that you can do? Do you need to distance yourself from your coworkers a little bit more? But we don't think we have options, right? We think we're just completely exhausted. There's always an option. There's always a way to control it for yourself. And, even if that comes down to looking at things in a way where you haven't really ever done, where you've never really looked at things that way. And Fredo, what's up? And if you're able to do that, you can see things in a way that are very powerful. Because you can go, I don't need this. I'm putting myself in these chains. I'm putting myself in this box. And I'm restraining myself and I'm confining myself. It's scary over there because I know this. And even though I know I'm in the box, it's a comfortable place. But we can bring ourselves that happiness and we can control that. So a big part of doing that is making sure you're not thinking way out. You're not thinking about, oh God, I've got to go to work and I got to deal with that person. I got this project to do and that project to do. And in the meantime, you got a wonderful breakfast that you could have had. You've got your kids sitting there that you're completely distracted. You got your wife who you're not kissing or giving a hug or, even holding and embracing, or husband because you're like, I got to do this. I'm here. And how many of us do that? We're so caught up in this and over here that time that we had from the time we got up, that hour and a half, we're already at work. We already removed ourselves from those moments because we already put our minds over here. We completely eliminated our opportunity for some beautiful moments to laugh with our kids, to laugh with our loved one, our girlfriend, our boyfriend, our wife, our husband, our mother, pick up the phone and give her a call, laugh with her. And I think the biggest thing about all of this is that we have overcome and transcended in a way what has been transpiring. Because of the smiles, because of the passion, because of the hearts, because of the minds, because of the beauty that each one of you guys have. You've been there supporting one another in building different things, just wonderful things. from Breathe Free dinners to the rallies and our marches and our parades, and going down to DC and coming together at different holidays, Friendsgiving dinner in Lackawanna, Chili Fest that we've had. I mean, all these different things that we've had and that we're going to continue to have, and we're not going to shut them down. But so many other people have been so consumed by everything that has been on the news. So many have. And we know them. And we may be one of them some of the time. But you don't have to be that way any of the time. We've risen above. We've said, yeah, we know things are bad, but we don't have to subscribe to that. We can focus in on the now. We can focus in on our happiness. We can focus in on our peace of mind, that joy, that jubilance in our lives with one another, our kids, our neighbors, our friends. And never miss a moment to smile and laugh or to listen to a joke. And no matter how corny or campy it is, I remember learning these lessons, a different person, and being serious and, being a little bit way too cocky and confident, and, just your ego and, it's your sense of self, a little bit selfish or a lot of it selfish, and, you're just I'm not realizing people are people, that they are just like me, and that they want, just the simple things, the simplest things like a smile, a kind word in a text, or picking up the phone, can just transform their day. It can just, put that little spark in their life that day, in their mind, goes to their heart, and makes them smile. And rather than being unilaterally focused on what is out there, that was a distraction, and a pleasant one, where they're able to embrace it and derive a whole bunch of pleasure from it. And it's just those simple things. It really is. So being able to pay attention to not this, but this. You're going to see that breakfast. You're going to see your kids. You're going to see your family. You're going to see your loved ones. I'm not worried about the car right now. I'll take it back there. I'll take care of the bald tires when I can, and when I get a chance to do that. And the list, we all have those laundry lists, but you compartmentalize. And if you can't compartmentalize in your mind, and just keep it out of your mind, or if you need to write it down, but make a short list. Don't make a long list, because you're never going to get through it. Make a short list of things that you can accomplish. And what you're going to see that you're able to accomplish every day is going to be like those men and women in our lives that we see. How do they get all that stuff done? You're going to become one of those people. So getting back to my friend, which was running all around the house there a few times. Sometimes we get so caught up in worrying about getting somebody back, paying somebody back, right? We just, our ego gets bruised, and we're not going to let it go. And you guys saw the transformation in me on my Facebook pages, where I used to engage negatively with people. I'd spend probably an hour and a half a day, 2 hours a day, negatively engaging, sometimes more than that. And I said, why am I doing that? And the reason I was doing it was because I thought that I was going to change somebody, and I wasn't. I didn't know what else to do productively, so I figured that I was going to engage somebody negatively, because it was in some way satisfying and feeding something, some element inside me, some component inside me was being satiated by that. And I said, man, there are a lot of people on my page that could benefit from me being positive and upbeat as opposed to being negative. Why am I allowing myself to be this person? Jackie and Mark, what's up? Good to see you. I'm not seeing a lot of people pop up, guys, so it's looking like 0 and 2 that are seeing the feed. So I do apologize if I'm not saying good morning to you. Hopefully that'll be corrected for either. I'm going to try to get on later. And, so I got away from that. And the moment I got away from that, amazing things started happening. Incredible things started happening. One group after another, after another, after another, focused in on helping as many people as I can. Boom, 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 boom. And then those people reaching out and helping as many people as they can. Good morning, Joyce. So I let go of that negativity. That other people maybe found funny, and maybe that was a part of the reason why I engaged in that or entertained it. But it was transformative because the underlying person that I was and what I was doing for Nurture was able to really come out. And it's not to say that I don't feel negative. I do it. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm this level. No, you're always going to slip and fall, and I do all the time. Every day, we all do. But trying to adhere to that, commit to it as much as we can, that positivity, you guys are seeing the effects of that because you guys are becoming leaders, each and every one of you. You guys are saying, yeah, you don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. And these aren't concepts that I've created or invented. These are things that millions of people have discovered and found out and written about and prophesized. Seeing them as something that is actually tangible and achievable is the important thing, because we sit in church, Bible study, religion. Some people connect with it on that level. For me, I didn't. It was like it wasn't connecting for whatever reasons. And it almost seems complicated, right? Psychology, psychologists, self-help books, right? It seems like it's just so almost unattainable that you have to be somebody that you're not in order to achieve it. So complex, but it's not. It is really extremely human and extremely simple. It's a commitment to yourself, to happiness, to making sure you have joy and you're at peace. It's controlling that narrative and those voices in your head and redirecting them, retuning them to be good to yourself. And once you're good to yourself, you're going to be amazed and astonished at what happens. And then no longer are you like my friend who, hangs on to it and says, hey, what, I need to get this person back. And then she asked me, well, Pete, what do you do? How would you handle that situation? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, this is the way that I would handle it. We know it's not going to be a short answer. I'm trying to keep it short. Because there's so many exciting things to talk about. So, not that this isn't exciting. This is very important. But I said, if I have a situation arise like that with me, and this has been for a long, long time, I don't let it enter into my being or my consciousness. I'm not going to let it affect my day. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. It does. It's something, whatever it is, it finds a little chink and it comes on in and you're like, oh, shit, I got to deal with this. Sorry, I swore. You're like, man, I got to deal with this now. So, when I said most of the time, I take a look at myself. I go, how is it that I allowed myself to be in the situation? Because we always want to play the victim, right? We want to vilify somebody else, villainize somebody else, make it their fault, they're responsible for it. It's not the case. And some big things, obviously Cuomo and Polenka, obvious, those are things that are outside of our control. We talked about that by sitting on the sidelines. We allowed that to happen, but we're acting now. All of us, each and every one of us are acting, and it is accelerating quickly, and we are taking it back. And we sat on the sidelines for a long, long time. Before I forget, let me write it down. Fell down. All right, hello? You guys still there? I still can't see if anybody's there or not. But I say that I just let it go. I do. And I don't worry about anybody, thinking that they got one over on me, or they punked me, or they can feel superior to me. I wasn't always that person. Like, I was the biggest perpetrator of road rage because I wanted to control that. I felt like I didn't have anything else I was controlling in my life. So, hey, I'm going to try to control this situation, and I'm going to show them. Why does it matter? Like, really, why does it matter? Let that person, who cares? In 1 second from now, it doesn't matter. So rather than, getting all caught up and heated in any situation, you step back from it. And it feels so good to be able to do that. It feels amazing to say, I own my responsibility in it. I see my shortcomings and what I can alter and adjust to be better next time and overcome that, and not allow myself to victimize myself in a situation like that, because it doesn't feel good, right? You can recognize instantly when somebody is doing something that isn't pleasant, right? Or how they talk down to you, or how they mistreat you or treat you. And you guys have heard me say that time and time again. Don't you assert and command how people are going to treat you by how you carry yourself and you interact with others. It's as simple as that. You go, I wish I could be like that person, or I wish I could be like that. You can, instantly. You make that decision. That fear and apprehension that you have can be just eviscerated by instilling that confidence in yourself and belief in yourself to be able to just say, yeah, I'm going to do this. That's how that person got to where they were. It's not any magic. They just committed to it, to being fearless, to making sure that it's not about, we're going to make sure I get mine and get, no, that's not it at all. It's just that you are commanding the way people interact with you by either accepting or not accepting, or guiding, manipulating, controlling how people interact with you by your response to them. And if you feed that, inclination, all of our predispositions to want to go after what we perceive as the attacker and show them, you're feeding into it. In any moment that you have spent with that energy, no good comes from it. I mean, you get a little bit of satisfaction. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, punching an Antifa will probably feel pretty good. Punching pulling cars, well, some of us, me and Cuomo and, Jimmy there, will probably feel pretty good. Like there's going to be an enormous amount of gratification that comes from that, right? But, and it's not even turning the other cheek. It's kind of like that. And I tell people that when you get to that place where you just truly don't let it affect you at all, and you actually kind of support and embrace whatever that person has done, say, I get it. I get your perspective. I can see why, you feel that way, or telling me these things, or treating me this way, and then it's going to help you develop that empathy. Right? It's going to help you develop how you can start to understand other people. And then it starts to allow you to connect the dots and put the pieces together, because humanity is not simple, or not complicated, right? It's not complicated. It is simple. We've lived each day And we want to make it seem like it's complicated, that where we're at right now in life is just so complicated. But we have lived each and every day just like somebody else has lived each and every day. So there's reasons why they behave the way they do and the way they treat people and interact with people. And once you're able to bring down those thoughts of being a combatant with that person, that person is the opposition, you become more human. You become more understanding. And you go, man, and like when we're growing up, right? Just like I didn't, you don't see people as people or real. You see that law enforcement officer is an object of authority, and they are, you don't even humanize them. You don't realize that that's a mother or a father, that elderly person. We just got so calloused to it, hardened. We became so hardened to it. We didn't see this person, because we say we can't help everybody. And yeah, you're right, we can. But if each one of us reaches out to one person and recognizes that one person throughout the course of our day, imagine how beautiful that is, right? And it is about seeing each other, even the person that has mistreated us in the worst possible way. Understand how and why we've allowed that person to do that to us. Recognize that person as a human being. And that's going to allow you to have that compassion for that situation, that level of understanding with that situation and the person, what they've gone through. And then you're going to make a decision. Am I going to stay with this person and, try to either, accept some of the things that they're doing, or is it unacceptable, and do I need to walk away from it? Do I need to walk away from this person I'm in a relationship, a family member, a friend, a Facebook friend, a coworker? Do I need to walk away, or a job? Do I need to walk away from? It's so scary to do that, but if you're utterly consumed and being devastated and crushed each and every day with somebody in your life, you have to assert yourself. You have to stand up and say, this is unacceptable. And if you love this person so much and you care about them so much, they're going to listen if they care about you. If you matter to them, they will pay attention. And I said, and then she goes, well, wouldn't you want to get them back? And I go, no. And it's not even that you look at rising above as getting them back. You don't. You truly don't feel any animus or hatred or loathing towards that person. You're like, I enjoyed and I appreciated the time that we had together, and I learned a lot from it. Thank you for bringing me so much to my life. I hope we can stay and remain friends. It didn't work out this way. Then you move on. And sometimes the bond that you end up creating as a result of that is infinitely stronger and more powerful than it was even before, because there's more common ground. There's a deeper level of appreciation and understanding of one another. I've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people about revolution. We are in a revolution. There's no doubt about it. War has been declared on us years ago. Years and years and years and years ago. This is now, we are in, one of the big battles, right? We're in D-Day right now. We're in Pearl Harbor right now, right? Or Gettysburg. That's where we're at right now. Is that hyperbole? No, it's not. In my opinion, it's all of those combined and even more. The onslaught, the incessant psychological and physical attacks and deprivation of our freedoms, it's just horrible, atrocious. And it, there are hundreds of millions of billions of people that are being victimized by it. And there's a lot of talk of civil war. And is there a civil war taking place? Yes, there absolutely is. We're engaged in it. We're all combatants in it right now. But how are we going to choose to battle? Are we going to take up our arms? And are we going to start shooting on our fellow Americans? And killing them? Killing somebody's mother, father, brother, sister? Somebody's loved one, friend? Are we going to take up those arms? Are we going to just have that same vitriol and hatred? And believe me, everybody that knows me knows I absolutely love to fight. Love it. Absolutely love to fight. And I bring it. And I've got a ton of friends and family that can fight equally as ferociously and warrioristic. They're not going to be stopped. And they love it just as much as I do. But there's a difference between thinking there's no other options, thinking that not knowing what the other options are, it being a last resort, you wanting and looking for it and doing something to try to get to that point. Well, any one of those thought processes that you guys are having are getting us closer to that point where people say we're inevitably going, that it's unavoidable. In my opinion, that's not true. And here are the reasons why. I believe it's not true. I believe that the media have a vested interest in there being a civil war. I believe that the elites and the powerful and the corporations have a vested interest in seeing a civil war. None of us benefit from a civil war. People say, well, their side, they're just too extreme, they're too off the reservation, and there's no bringing them back. No, there's not. How many people have you seen? And we say we love you. We say, God bless America, God bless you, have a great day. Yeah, sure, some of them keep screaming, right? But how many have you seen that have said, what? What? Just love me. Just got done giving you the finger and screaming at you and screaming at your kids and swearing and saying all these other things. You love me. Now, does that mean that changes that person permanently? No, it doesn't. Does it mean that there's that moment that they maybe stop and think about it and say, oh, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? They just thanked me for coming out and I'm screaming at them, and they're thanking me for exercising my free right of expression. And maybe, just maybe, one person at a time. Because there's not that many on their side that are that far gone. That's the truth. In all the things that I have experienced at this point, and you guys take a look at your pages, the people that come after you and attack you, it is a handful of them. It is a small percentage of the overall people that are there. But we see them in our families, and we see the friends. But the reason people don't stand up against it, the reason they're not standing up against it is because they think they're alone. And they're not. Most of the other people on your Facebook page are going, what the heck is this person doing? Most of the people at that table that you're with or in your household or that wherever it is, they're going, what's going on with this person? And they're just not happy. For whatever reasons, those people aren't happy. They don't know happiness. Maybe they've never known happiness. Maybe it's just that moment in their life where they're trying to figure things out and they just can't. And they feel lost. And I know that civil war in my heart is only going to come if we keep thinking those things that I said. It's unavoidable. That, we don't know how to avoid it. We don't know what to do to how to avoid it. If we take an active role in always being warriors and freedom fighters and patriots, but do it compassionately, do it humanely, do it with a heart, then we're going to start to see that transformation. You think about these kids and these teachers and these older men typically that are in our area that are working government agencies, politicians that are working against us. It is such a small percentage, because most of those people in government, they don't want this. Most of the people in elderly care and school, they don't want this. Not just meaning the shutdown, but a civil war. They don't want it. Liberals, Democrats, moderates, independents, libertarians, conservatives, Republicans, we are so close in so many ways that if you always adhere to and stick to having that civil conversation with somebody, treating them as a person, being empathetic and understanding that they have probably a lot of the same concerns that you do and fears, then you'll know how to interact with them. And as we start to do that, one piece of the puzzle at a time, one person at a time, then instead of being up here, maybe they just come down here a level. And then maybe they see something else over here and they come down a little bit further. And then you hope and pray that there's something else that happens that it brings them down a little bit more. And then maybe they're as fortunate as we are to have one another in this family, to be so bonded and united. And you guys see me smile every time, because like every face, and even the faces that I haven't got back to in message, and they said I will, and you guys know, and thank you so much for understanding, and really I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. And please just make sure you message me over and over again. But I see every event, and I just see every face, and I'm just like, and you just, like, it gives you the tingles, and it just, and it makes you feel it in your heart. And you see all the events, and you see us all standing up for, with, beside, behind, laughing with, smiling with, joking with, just embracing, hugging. And all of those faces and those occasions just come rolling back as a flood, as a tsunami. And that's why I smile every time I talk about it. So maybe, just maybe, some of those people get to that point. And it never had to be a civil war. Does there need to be a civil war? I don't believe that. I don't. I believe we win over hearts and minds and souls and spirits and lives and people with our actions, exemplifying it, living it, embodying it, personifying it each and every day as an example. Picking up that phone, like I said at the beginning, making that call, shooting that text out. So many of us are alone and don't need to be. We've had this family. Build your next family that you have. And stay included in this one. Bring them into this one for sure. But just keep building and building and building. We didn't have anything, guys. Like, how many of us didn't know we were here, in March? And how many people even now don't know that we're here, that we're all here doing what we're doing? We represent and account for less than a fraction of a percent, even in Erie County. But what we are doing here and what we're accomplishing, people are looking at us as an example of how things can be. Stefan, Robbie, Dave DiPietro, all these names, these people that are there that are starting to go, man, why have I been doing it this way for so long? How did I get to this point? Stepping back and going, how How did I get to the point in my life where I don't see the big picture? How did I get here? How have I been so laser focused in on what it is that I want that I'm not seeing what else is going on? I know because I've been there. I've been that selfish prick that didn't, with the football, and, in work and as a union steward and even now with different aspects of my life that you're always trying to improve on and grow and expand. In my heart, I know without a doubt, unequivocally, that we can transform everything and take it back. How do you say that, Pete? It's just so crazy. Here's how I say that. ECMC. Last week, Friday, everything is blowing up, right? We've got a good event. We create Save Our Seniors. We were the enemy. We were the enemy. Do you mean this group and this group and this group, they're going to be there? No, absolutely not. We're not even going to let them on the grounds. They're definitely not going to be able to sing. They're not going to do this and they're not going to do this. And, we're going to take video of them and our police officers to do this. Michael Bray, brilliant soul. Frank Coleman, equally brilliant. Jackie and Mark and Fred and Jen and just all the names and Kim and just going through all the names in the list there. Everybody did their little part. Everybody did their little part. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. We love you. We understand. We just want you to know we're here for you guys too, your staff. Even though we hate what you're doing, we're here for you guys. What can we do to make it better? All of a sudden, we show up. ECMC is like police officers shaking our heads. I mean, tears in eyes, smiles ear to ear, loving what we did. I don't know who the gentleman was I don't know what position he had, but he was with the lieutenant of the campus police department there. And just, what do you need? What do you guys need? What do you need? Just interacting and working together and collaborating and saying, we need this. Can we do this? Can we do this? This respect. And they had a completely different opinion of us. And maybe, just maybe, that enlightens them. That sparks a fire inside of them to say, hey, maybe I'm misjudging and miscalculating other things in my life too. And that's what everything that we're doing is about. Save Our Seniors is about creating allies, creating partnerships with each and one of these elderly care facilities where these people have been so tunnel visioned that we can maybe come in and say, hey, what do you think about this? They're already in it. It's way easier, to clean the car, to vacuum the car, to get the car an oil change and new tires, and maybe you want to put some new beats in it, you want to put a bass in it, get the windows tinted. It's way easier to do that stuff than it is to throw the car out and get a whole new car. Are some people irredeemable? I don't know. Maybe they are. In my opinion, I believe, and you guys see this every day, I believe everybody is redeemable. And I can't help but laugh when people are like, I can't think of Lisa is one, and Kristen is another, and a handful of other people are like, Pete, not everybody is, rosy and sunshine and flowers and this and that and everything else. And I'm like, well, why not? As sure as heck can be. Why not? And that's the whole thing behind everything that we're doing. It's about winning over hearts and minds, and souls and spirits, and getting them to come out of their box, getting them to come out, getting them to transform and maybe see things a little bit differently. To not see everybody as an adversary or as the opposition. That they can start to develop the skill sets to be able to work with somebody. And they shed their ego and they go, you know what, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe there is a better way. Maybe there's a little bit different way that I can do these things. And of course there is. Each facility can operate better. And we can help bring them to a place to be a little better, to be a little stronger. When people told me, Pete, everything is complicated, and I said, it's not complicated. People go, it is complicated. And I go, I disagree. It's not complicated. And the reason it's not complicated is because everything that is done involves a person, or it involves people. And when you take away the largeness of it all, and you look at all the pieces of the puzzle, that is when you recognize and you realize it's not that big. It's not that complicated. We can make that difference, and we can make that change. You know, we can be on the same team and be advocates and supporters of one another. Ah! Like the seagull and the crows yesterday, I was throwing chicken nuggets out too. That's a new one. We've got this one, right? We got all the dance moves, and then we've got this one. So, you're welcome. I don't even want to... Anyways, so, it's just, it's extremely powerful stuff, guys. It's just really, really building really, really, really fast. And it's absolutely beautiful and brilliant to see. And I'm so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you doing your small part, your big part, your huge part, everything that you can do, because every little thing you do is actually huge, believe it or not. You know, when it's like with the elderly care facilities, it's like one little thing. You know, we always talk about that, working on that one little thing, one little thing, one little thing, one little thing. And all of a sudden, it's bigger and it's bigger and it's bigger. Good morning, Cy. Cy did it. Cy lived it. Cy made himself. He remade himself. He reinvented himself. He was always that person, a good person, and he did it. He accomplished it. Perfect example. Perfect timing, Cy. So, this weekend, we have the Rolling Patriots, 10 o'clock over at the Boulevard Mall, Niagara Falls Boulevard, and I don't know what road it is, but you've got Amelia Drive where the Wegmans is, and then there's a Firestone. We're meeting there at 10 a.m. We want this to be huge, absolutely huge. Come on out. We don't care. Don't decorate your truck. Just bring your car. We had a ton of cars out there last week. Bring them out. And then we're going to roll from there. They've got the map all set up. And let's just make it, and put those Christmas flags on, you know, put the nose on, the reindeer nose on, you know, put the antler ears up, do whatever you, Frosty the Snowman, my cousin, he does the Jeep, the Christmas Jeep that goes through Lancaster, the whole, everywhere. You know, if you want to do that, decorate it with lights, dress up as Santa, I don't care. But come on out, and, you know, bring your vehicles out, but that's where we're going to be meeting, 10 a.m., Boulevard Mall, at the Amelia Drive. You've got the Wegmans and then the Firestone. You can't miss us. We're going to be there. And then 2 p.m., Marching Patriots, where we go on. We're going to be at the Aquatic Center in Tonawanda. That is going to be at 2 p.m., all right? 2 p.m., we're going to be at the Aquatic Center. Now, Saturday night, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be happening. But this Sunday, all right? Sunday. So I give Mark some notice. Mark, I know you've been waiting for us. I know you had coffee waiting for me. I know you had breakfast waiting for me. And a mask, which I wasn't going to wear, but I know you had that waiting for me and the rest of us. And I know you've been anxiously waiting outside the window. Is he here yet? Is he here? Is he here yet? Is he here? Where's Pete? He said he was coming. Pete said he was coming. He's not here again. We're coming. We're coming this Sunday. We're going to be there this Sunday, 10 a.m. So we're coming on out to see you. And then we have a very, 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 very big and special event that we are putting together for this Sunday. I'm going to give you a hand. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah! That's the only hint you get, but it's going to be freaking great. We're already working on it. Sunday, 7 p.m. Make sure. Anyways, we're putting the final details together today. We've got some information and people to talk to. I haven't gotten on the Patriot Command Center phone yet, but anyways, you tell them a little bit excited. So, big plan for Sunday night, 7 p.m. I don't want to give you guys all the details. We're going to put it out. I'm sure you can guess at this point. That's it. That's all you get. No more. I want you so bad, but we got to get all the details finished up. We've got a lot of people on board. We're going to be committed to a lot today, to talking to everybody about what's happening. And we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together for this Sunday night. And that's the 13th. Then there's a Saturday game on next week. And we are putting together, tailgate in the square. All right? We are going to push this out to everybody. We're going to have, it'll be down at Niagara Square. And we're there to support local businesses, reopening Buffalo, reopen the Ralph. We're there to support all of that stuff. So, wait a minute. Maybe, anyways. So, I start thinking to myself, I go, Cuomo, right? Bill's getting to the playoffs, and Cuomo has destroyed our lives, right? What would be the move that Cuomo would make? You could see Cuomo saying, okay, hey, Bills fans, you go back in, we know, and then he's going to look like a hero to all the people that support him. Not to any of us, but, and he just loves making those moves, right? Loves making those moves. But we got a plan, and we're already working on a plan. So, we'll get as many of the pieces of the puzzle put in place today. We'll get it out. I'll put that out to you guys. We'll get it on the Facebook pages. We'll get it out in text messages. Send this out to all your teams, your group text messages. We need this everywhere. Put it out to every group message as well. All right? There's going to be this Sunday, and we've got tailgate in the square, which is the following Saturday. I'm not giving any details on Sunday. But then next weekend is a very, very, very big day, okay? The Saturday game, I believe, is at 4:15. We will have rolling Patriots on Saturday. I'm not sure the location. I also believe we're going to have marching Patriots, but I'm not positive. I don't know the location yet. And that's usually going to be 10 a.m. and then 10 p.m. But what I do know for a fact is that we will be in Cheektowaga for what's going on with the Save Our Seniors on that Sunday. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a roll. We're going to go sing at one place while it's still daylight. We're going to come meet at a location to be announced. And then we're going to roll through neighborhoods with the kids to start to see the lights so that they could see the lights. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to another elderly care facility so Frank can have his candle vigil. And, it's just going to be beautiful. It'll probably be our cell phones, but maybe it'll be candles. Everybody dressed up, coming, we roll, and then we can make a decision at that point. Do we want to meet someplace else? And John had a great idea of leaving there and going someplace where there's a big parking lot and all meeting and having like our hot cocoa and soup and chili and all that other stuff and donuts. So we're going somewhere and then having, how beautiful would this be? The Rolling Patriots just kind of slowly rolling around the group of us, just singing, someplace where we could be seen. So that's the plan for Sunday. And then, of course, we're going to have our Breathe Free events that we're still going to have. Small Business Coalition, a lot of things happening with that we're putting together. I know Nancy and Constitutional Coalition have something that they partner with somebody, I believe, in the city that they do. And that may be up on Rally Together USA already. I'm not sure if it is or not. But, if you guys want to reach out to them or Nancy Orticelli, I know I have to find out too when it is that it's like a clothing drive and a hat and a jacket drive that they go out, and we just want to support them for that. A lot of good things going on, guys. And the only reason any of this stuff happens, all of you guys. With this and with this and with that. How many people, this group that I met with last night, they're amazing. Like the group is comprised of some extremely intelligent, capable people, just like all the groups are. And they invited me out and again, I'll keep them anonymous, but unless they tell me that they don't want to be anonymous. But they invited me out on Monday. We had a great meeting. We got together last night to finalize the details of Tailgate in the Square. And just a great, phenomenal group of people. Had so much fun last night. We were laughing and just everything. But at the same time, we were putting the whole plan together. And the plan was being developed and developed and developed and developed. And, the one woman there, her name was Kathy. And she, was like, I want to do pulling cars. We've been there. Let's do it. So, okay, I want to do this day. I want to do this day. And we'll go to Bernstein's too. So that's great to have somebody else, especially with everything else that's developing, that it allows me to kind of pull away, from the rallies, that I can just kind of be there as an advisor and a consultant so that I can say, hey, okay, this is what we need, boom, 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 boom. Here we go with it. Let me know how it goes. We'll get all the information, get me this back, and then we'll run with it. And that only happens because we have Diana and Kristen and, all the groups, and Devin and Nancy and, all Brett Bureau and his show and, Watchman and Charlie and Clint, everybody. It only happens because we are networked now together, inseparably. And those groups, that unified front that we have is only going to grow as each one of these divisions come into play more and more and more. I'm so excited about being I'm honored and privileged to be a part of their group, and that they asked me what they wanted to do and how it should be handled. It's just awesome to see the development take place so quickly with that group and where they're ready to go. Mama was calling, so I gotta give her a call. So she called me the other day and I forgot to call her back, so I'm bad. Christmas time, Santa's watching, but I'll call her right back. I'm just about wrapped up here. Great group. We had so much fun. I'm so thankful for each and every individual that is there contributing and helping with so many great ideas. And that's just going to add to everything that we're doing, so that then each and every one of us can start focusing more in on where Save Our Seniors is going, and how we're going to network out there, and how we're going to create, local online digital media to hold these local agencies, government agencies, and politicians accountable, so that we start to develop our ranking systems with everything, and we start to hold them accountable that way, so that we can develop the elections and our strategy for politics, vetting politicians and getting their signatures done so that we go out onto the streets and formulating plans. The big picture, legally protecting all of us with Small Business Coalition and FreeNewYorkState.com, everything that's there. But then legislatively, going after the legislative changes, because this body, this people, this group that we have is going to grow and grow and grow. We are going to have that power and influence to be able to say, this regulation, this policy, this piece of legislation, this law is nonsense. Get rid of it, or you're gone, and we'll get somebody in there to get rid of it. Because at the end of the day, the only reason it should be there is if it has some benefit to the populace, not specific individuals. And that is going to allow us schools and education and homeschooling and empowering people and medical freedom and how to take our rights back from these hospitals and the medical establishment, and how we grow minds, how we grow hearts, spirits, and souls, how we grow families, one person at a time, to become these amazing leaders that believe in themselves and are no longer forced. I'm going to use an example that somebody's going to know very well that's on here. We're no longer forced to have that heaviness in our chest. Somebody telling us we're bad, we're bad, we're bad, we're bad. Somebody telling us they're going to take from us, they're going to deprive from us. You're a horrible person. And it's just all crushing you, weighing down on you all the time. And you're realizing it doesn't have to be that way. That you can rise above it. You can transcend that. You can transform yourself. And there's more than one person on this page right now who has done that, myself included. With a lot of help from my friends, and a lot of help and guidance and tutelage from people that cared about me, my mentors, my coaches, my heroes in my life. And then each one of us, we can become a hero to somebody else. They can look at us as that inspiration to become. And that we really, truly do start to believe in greatness again. But not a greatness where it's competition. Greatness that we achieve together by being supportive and encouraging of one another, and truly feeling, rather than spite or jealousy or envy for somebody else's accomplishments, we truly feel happy for them. And that's where we're going. Because once we get to that place, man, the things that are going to be accomplished are just the level of happiness and peace and serenity. And the people that are on here watching right now, they know how crippling and debilitating it is to be in that other place. And they made some simple changes that they committed to themselves. They changed the way they thought, and that's it. Maybe some people accepted religion and God into their life, and that was part of what got them to where they were, and others didn't. Others were able to do it with a belief and a faith in themselves, but also a greater purpose. That's a very, very critical part of it. So, thanks for talking, guys. It was a little bit long today, but I wasn't on yesterday, so I do apologize. I hate missing that stuff. I am going to try to do lives of all the events that we're at, get somebody that will do that for me and volunteer so you guys can see those. I know a lot of people really appreciate and enjoy seeing them, but I love you guys so much. Enjoy your days, and I look forward to hearing from you. I had a busy day getting back to everybody, but also developing these plans, especially for Sunday, so can't wait. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.